Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, we'll talk trials and tribulations with one of the most successful trial attorneys in DFW. That's next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, I am fascinated with the practice of law, and when you talk about law, there are so many different disciplines and there are so many different kinds of attorneys. Some will see a courtroom and some will never see a courtroom. To talk about that today, J. Robert Arnett II, his friends just call him Bob, and he is the co-founder of Carter Arnett. Thank you for coming on the show.
Well, hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
First, I want to start so the audience gets to know you. You graduated from Rice, and you served in the military.
I did. I was an infantry officer in the Marine Corps.
Thank you for your service.
Well, thank you.
Well, tell us how the military shaped you in terms of discipline and work ethic and grit.
Well, I mean, it was absolutely necessary to survive and do well in the Marine Corps. It's a very demanding organization, and so just to give you an example, I kind of coasted through college as an undergrad. I got pretty good grades, but I partied a lot, and so then I go to the Marine Corps, then I go to law school, and I've just got much more discipline. I'm working almost full time and pulling down straight A's in law school at UCLA. So there was just a remarkable change that I was aware of in discipline and focus.
One of the things you and I were talking about before the show was the idea that many people will engage a law firm. You do a lot of business litigation, but they'll engage a law firm that never sees a courtroom, and it's important to know the difference.
Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, there's not see a courtroom, but actually try cases, try jury trials. There's lots of litigators who style themselves as trial lawyers, and they can be in practice 15, 20 years, and when you are about ready to start a jury trial, you find out they've never done one before, and they really want you to settle the case at that point.
Wow. And do many attorneys not disclose that, or maybe the client is not asking the right questions?
Yeah, I think both. I mean, if you're a senior partner at a big law firm and you haven't had any or many jury trials, that's not something you're going to volunteer to your client.
Right.
And the vast majority of cases do not go to trial. They settle, or they get dismissed, or they get disposed of before you ever get to the trial stage. But we like to try cases, and we do try cases.
Let's talk about integrity, because unfortunately there are some people in the industry who don't practice law the way you do. Tell us why integrity is so important. Well,
I mean, integrity, honesty, and being genuine are absolutely critical. Whether you're dealing with your clients, that's pretty obvious how important that is. Building up your reputation for integrity and honesty with the judges, so that when you're arguing a motion in front of the judge knows that you're going to be straight with them about what the law is and how the facts play out, and that gives you a more credibility with the judge. It leads to better results. And with juries, jurors have great common sense, and if you're not being genuine in front of a jury, if you're trying to pretend to be somebody else, Perry Mason or whomever,
right?
They sense that, and then they don't trust you.
Yeah, and Dallas is a big town, but a small town, and your reputation can precede you, can't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Let's talk more about your firm, because you have a very diverse team, and I know you're proud of them. Tell us how you accumulated them over the years.
Well, so my partner Leon Carter and I were practicing together at a different firm. We decided to leave. We formed this firm. We had a couple people that, as soon as they found out that we left, said, "Me too.
Sure.
Please take me."
Sure.
And so that was good. Leon's African American, and we always had, and one of our original partners was Asian American, and so we always had a desire to be a diverse firm. And so, when we've hired people, generally it's been, we don't use headhunters or recruiters. We hire people that either we already know or somebody that we trust knows. Give you an example. Our partner, Karen Scholler, who's now a federal judge, was our partner for 4 years. She's Asian American. She had just a dynamite young law clerk named Eric Chen, and really strongly encouraged him to consider us, strongly encouraged us to consider him, and we hired him, and he's just been a tremendous asset. And frankly, he could be making more money at a bigger firm. But we offer the opportunity for young lawyers to get into the courtroom, to do important work, and we go to trial. And if we have a good year, we tend to be fairly generous.
So I'm going to ask you a question that I don't know if you're prepared for it or not, but what's your favorite moment since you've been practicing law? Is there a verdict, or is there a moment where you say, this is why I got into this biz?
Well, there's been a couple. There's one in particular that I remember. It was a patent infringement case, and it was kind of an interesting dynamic because the principals at our firm had been principals at the other firm, and they left. They made fiber optic connectors. So they split off. There was a huge falling out, and there were two brothers. So there was one brother still there and one brother that started the new company. And there was just tremendous bad blood between them. There were multiple lawsuits. We got hired because the old firm sued the new firm for patent infringement. And and the goal of the lawsuit was not to stop them from allegedly infringing or to recover money. It was to put them out of business. And that was really the risk. And so lots of bad blood between the clients, spilled over a little bit into bad blood between the lawyers, with one guy in particular. And, so we tried the case in Marshall, Texas. Jury's out an hour and a half, which is a fairly short period of time. Come back, verdict of non-infringement, verdict of invalidity of the patent. So we killed their patent as well.
Wow.
And the client, just hugged our necks and was very, very appreciative. We basically, we had saved the company.
Wow. Bob, that is a great way to end this segment. We're going to end with your website, which is carterarnett.com. And thank you so much for your time, and thank you for your integrity for a profession that is looking for leadership.
Oh, thank you very much.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.